So we're totally gonna save Ginny, right? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to 1132, episode 1132 of One Piece. And yeah, so last episode chronicled how Kuma and Ginny, grew up together after escaping slavery, how Kuma ended up becoming the pastor of the church that his parents ran, and also how he stood up against the corrupt royalty that the Sorbet Kingdom, ended up gaining during that time. He was imprisoned and was ended up getting saved by the sudden arrival of the rebels, Dragon and Ivankov, who, along with Kuma, ended up becoming the Revolutionary Army. They were not actually the Revolutionary Army in name or full organization until that point. Ginny, of course, became leader of the captain of the Eastern Forces as well. So she had quite a notable position too. We saw that Bello Betty was also there from the beginning, so that's pretty cool. And I'm very interested to kind of learn more about this, but we did end last episode with Ginny being kidnapped by someone. We didn't see who, but she was kidnapped while waiting for Kuma to reconvene with her. They were going to meet up again. This is like, I don't know what years after they joined the Revolutionary Army or formed it. And so they were going to meet up again after a while, reconnect, and work together on something. And then she ends up getting kidnapped. And we saw both Dragon and, Kuma's reactions to that not being so great, of course. I think we saw Ivankov's as well, which, makes sense. But yeah, I'm very, very interested to see where this backstory continues to go, as upsetting as it can tend to be. We also did see last time the entire thing with Kuma doing what Zoro did on Thriller Bark, when Kuma, or what Kuma had Zoro do, taking all of Luffy's pain in the Paw Paw bubble. We saw that Kuma, when expelling pain from people, has to do this. Someone has to take on the pain, otherwise it eventually just returns. Which I don't remember if that was said back in Thriller Bark. It's been a while since I watched that. I've watched it somewhat more recently than you would think because of reactions, but even then it's been a little bit. And it's just like, I don't remember if that was one of the things he was saying to Zoro about it. But either way, yeah, it goes back to the whoever the pain was taken from after a period of time. And so with Kuma healing all the people around the village and everything around the church, he had to take that pain on himself, much to Ginny's chagrin, because it had to be either taken on by someone or it would return. And he was happy to do that for them. He was happy to take that pain. Especially, obviously knowing Ginny would, tend to his wounds and everything afterwards. We also had Jenny propose and everything, but Kuma is not really comfortable with it right now. He's just he doesn't want to put that on her because of his Buccaneer heritage. He loves her too much, basically, which is ironic. But yeah, now with her being kidnapped, he's going to do everything in his power to save her because, again, he loves her that much. So I'm excited to see how this continues. I'm also really scared because I'm afraid I'm going to cry again. I am more than likely going to cry plenty more times. Let's see how that ends up happening. Hopefully not in this episode, but also hopefully in this episode. I'm kind of a masochist with that. It's like I want Oda to make me cry, but I don't at the same time. It's like I'm very mixed. The emotions are so good all the time, but I also like I don't want to be emotionally destroyed. Let's get into it either way and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So while I did tear up at, like, Ginny's death and everything, and Kuma's reaction to it all, I didn't cry as much as I could have. Because, again, I saw it coming. It's like just the evidence we had to support, like, the fact that she was already gone in the modern day. It's like it was very clear that she was going to die. I just didn't know how. So we find out the people who kidnapped her, like, you know, she was kidnapped to be the wife of a celestial dragon. And 2 years later, she was let go after contracting what we ended up finding out is called the Sapphire scale disease, which creates these blue lesions on the body that I guess look like sapphires and all. And I guess kind of like scales. But it's a fatal disease, it's a terminal disease, and there's no known cure for it. While only, you know, enslaved for 2 years, Ginny had the effects of it, like, increased because of her decision to, like, sail to the Sorbet Kingdom in, like, you know, the bright sunlight and everything, which increased its effects. She died probably a lot sooner than she otherwise would have because of that. And her goal was just to get Bonnie to safety, get Bonnie to, you know, the church, because she knew Kuma would go there and that he would take care of her as his daughter. So Bonnie is not Kuma's biological daughter, and based on what we have here, it's obvious that Bonnie is the daughter of a celestial dragon and is, you know, a child born of rape, let's be honest here. But, like, foregoing that entirely, Bonnie is Kuma's daughter. There is no getting around that. There is, like it doesn't matter that they don't have any biological connection. They are father and daughter, 100%. There's no arguing there. And that's the only relationship at this time that Bonnie needs to worry about. Unless we end up finding out who her father is and, like, get involved in all of that. Which is, you know, altogether possible, but I don't know if it's going to go into that. And honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't. I hope that Oda doesn't reveal that, because I don't want to know. I don't think we need to know, and I don't want to know. I don't want to find that out. Because, to me, it's like it doesn't matter. Again, Kuma's her father, and that's all that matters. Her parents are Kuma and Ginny. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So he raised her while intermittently going back and doing work with the Revolutionary Army. But after she started contracting the Sapphire scale disease as well, he left the revolutionaries with Dragon's blessings. We also saw that, I assume this last doctor came from Dragon, because we know Dragon was like looking to find a doctor who would know about this too. And he eventually revealed to Kuma what this was, and that Bonnie, going even by how, you know, Kuma's been protecting her from the sun, that she'd only have like 5 years left and would die before she was 10, before her 10th birthday. And that it's all but guaranteed. But we know that's not the case, because this was 7 years ago. Bonnie is currently 12 years old, so we know she survived. We know she doesn't have the Sapphire Scale disease anymore. And again, the only thing I can think of as to how it would be cured is either through law, or I guess maybe the world government. Because here's the thing. If the world government had a cure to this and just did not give it out to the common public, I would not be surprised. That is 100% something the world government would do. And that would mean to me that Kuma's probably gonna, like, Vegapunk said that he gave himself up and was like, when he, like, you know, was turned by the world government into a cyborg and everything. So what I'm assuming is going to happen is he's going to turn himself into the world government with the agreement that they cure Bonnie. He's going to find out they probably have the cure. He's going to go to them. He's going to reach out, and he's going to ask them to cure Bonnie and willingly give himself as, you know, the last surviving member of the Buccaneer race as a subject to them. And he's probably going to meet Vegapunk during all of this. We're going to see how they met. And we're going to see, like, how all of this ended up going down. All to save Bonnie. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. Because I don't think we're getting Law. I doubt we're going to have Law here. I don't even know if, like, 7 years ago. He's, like, in his late 20s? Mid to late 20s, I think. How old is... I'm not 100% sure about that. Trafalgar Law age. 26. So he would be 19 during this time. So, I mean, it's likely that he could have, like, developed his powers enough by this point to be able to cure something like this, because I mean, we know his devil fruit is OP, and, you know, is like the perfect devil fruit for, you know, a doctor and everything. But it's unclear if, like, how all of that would work with him. And again, I doubt it's going to be the case. We have, like, no evidence that Law and Kuma have known each other in any way. I just feel like that's not going to be the case. It's got to be the world government idea. And knowing Bonnie's hatred for Saturn, like, he's got to be, like, partially responsible, right? So, I mean, I think we knew he was already kind of responsible for Kuma. So it's like, yeah, and we saw him even in God Valley. So yeah, that's got to be the case there. He might be the one that Kuma directly negotiates with. I'm very curious to see how this all, like, goes, though. It's probably going to be pretty crazy. I'm very interested, but I'm also scared, because it's like, I feel like this is going to get even sadder. And, like, the opening shows, like, Kuma writing a letter to Bonnie and everything, and it's gonna get really sad. Like, this episode was already really sad, but again, I was able to hold it together because it's something I had already figured out, but I'm just, I'm anxious. That's a good way to put it. I'm very anxious for the future of this at this point. I don't know how many episodes we have left of these flashbacks. Probably not too many, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty crazy. And the thing is, it wasn't for a while before, like, Ginny was even kidnapped that she last saw Kuma. Because they were going to see each other again for the first time in a while before she got kidnapped. And then on top of that, like, she did get to at least hear his voice one more time, and he got to hear hers one more time. So that's a positive for sure. That they got to hear each other's voices, but yeah, it's like, her only goal at that point was getting Bonnie to safety. And she was making sure that Bonnie would be able to live because she knew she wasn't going to be able to. It is really sad. It really is. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is what I expected with this. Having myself be like mentally prepared and emotionally prepared for her death very much helped, because it's like it could have been like so much worse. I'm just concerned what the last words he's going to end up saying to Bonnie are before all of this happens. Like, what's the last thing he's going to manage to say to her? What's the last thing, like, he's going to be able to tell her? I'm just curious, like, how that compares to, like, him and Ginny. I'm just depressed, man. Because even though I didn't like cry super heavily or like break down, like, it still gets me sad. And it's crazy how fast that episode went by too. It's like that went by quick. And now with this shit happening with the king again, and like now he's like being even worse and like actively culling people. It's like, yeah, Kuma needs this right now. Kuma needs to deal with this kind of shit, sure. Uh, Shit's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I'm gonna do my best to be prepared for that, but you know. All of that being said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of One Piece. And thank you so much for tuning in. Like I always say, no spoilers. I do know some stuff coming forward or going forward, but not a lot, and I don't have context for pretty much anything. It's just I know things because, you know, One Piece fans are shit with spoilers, so just, I don't want to be spoiled on anything I have not been spoiled on, so please just try to keep that in. Do not spoil me. That being said, thank you as always so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.